I don't think China has many military leaders that understand the military doctrines and strategy. China have 375 warships. How many anti-ship missiles does Taiwan have? Thousands. So they might have 1,800 missiles they can use, the medium and short-range missile to hit Taiwan, but they only have 600 launchers so far. If Taiwan stand up and protect yourself, other people will be here to help you protect yourself.
大家好，欢迎收看《台湾人在纽约》，我是婷玉。今天的这一集节目呢很特别，我们邀请到了一位重量级的来宾，大家应该都知道他是呢美国前国防部的官员胡振东先生，欢迎 Tony 大哥。
婷玉好，大家好。
大家应该都知道 Tony 大哥，但我们还是要简单的来介绍一下他丰富的经历。胡振东先生呢是退役的美国空军中校，在美国空军服役长达27年。并且曾经在美国国防部主管中国、蒙古和台湾事务。2006年，台湾事务从中国科独立之后，他担任第一位台湾科资深科长，同时也曾经担任过雷神公司台湾区的总经理，并且还曾经在美国在台协会安全合作组担任副组长，负责美台军事合作还有军事训练等相关业务，可以说是跨足了军方、官方还有商方产业界
对，
太佩服了。 对，那其实这次 Tony 来美国是因为要进行这个巡回的演讲，你等于是说跨足了美国的东岸跟西岸。对，
总共16个演讲。Well, the main message I want everybody to know is how important Taiwan is. Taiwan being in the middle of the first island chain, how important it is to the regional security.That so Taiwan, the people do not fall into the trap of Chinese propaganda, just give up and surrender. So try to not fall into the defeatist trap. So that's my purpose.
On this trip, did you catch up your old friends from military, U.S. military or Pentagon?
Well, this trip has been very, very tight schedule-wise. So it's unfortunate that even though a lot of my friends ask, hey, you're DC, let's meet. But actually, I only had time to meet a couple of them. And obviously, they're very concerned with what is happening in Taiwan. And also, when I'm here, if I have a chance to go into a more secure environment, we can talk more frankly. It's something that we cannot do on email and stuff. So I think they were hoping for that opportunity. However, I will have to come back again for that.
So did you go to the Capitol Hill just talking about the Taiwanese issue?
Yes. That was part of the reason why my schedule was so tight. We did go to Capitol Hill and talk to the staffers. And certainly they want to know more about Taiwan's self-defense capability, and also they want to know more about the China threat. And I took the opportunity to give them my assessment.
Mm-hmm. So from your time at defense sector to AIT, was there some specific moments that you really feel like, wow, Taiwan is just far more critical importance to the global security than people think?
Yes, I think a lot of people don't realize from the regional security point of view, there's only one potential aggressor, China. Okay, so China is the common threat. And if you look at what's happening now, only China is infringing in other countries' exclusive economic zones. China is claiming area that under international rule is not theirs. And so that's a problem. And the United States certainly trying to ensure the free world understand that of this threat. And if we don't stop China's aggressiveness in Taiwan, then they will use the same tactics throughout Asia, maybe even around the world. So I want people to know the entire region's peace and stability is based on deterring China, and Taiwan is an important part.
A lot of Taiwanese, they are concerned about whether CCP will attack Taiwan. Do you think CCP has this capability?
Well, whether China will attack Taiwan or whether China has the intention to attack Taiwan, only one person knows, Xi Jinping, right? That's why it's so important for the whole world to monitor Xi Jinping's behavior so that we can better assess the threat because what you talked about is the threat. And as for China's military capability, I see reports all the time about how large China's military is. Got so many thousands of airplanes, hundreds of ships, and thousands of tanks and million-man army. The fact is, numbers alone does not translate into combat capability, because I don't think China has many military leaders that understand the military doctrines and strategy, how to use the military, or operational leaders that understand the tactics, how to use their various systems to fight. So in order to have a real warfighting capability, you need to combine the hardware with the knowledge of how to use it, when to use it. Okay, I don't think China has that. They just got a lot of hardware. So many media cite China's numbers as, wow, they're so capable, but no, that's wrong. Now, if you look at Taiwan, Taiwan has this natural environment, the topography, the surrounded by ocean. Okay, it's easier to defend. It's advantageous to the defense force. So, plus Taiwan has the combat knowledge that's passed on by the United States military through bilateral training events. So I think Taiwan's forces are well prepared, and combined with the natural environment, I think Taiwan is not easily conquered, will not be so easily conquered by China.
The next million-dollar question is that if CCP attacks Taiwan, how exactly U.S. will protect Taiwan?
First of all, I am confident that the United States will help defend Taiwan. Not just the United States, but other Taiwan's friends, other country who shares the Taiwan's core value of freedom, democracy, human rights. Okay, I think there are a lot of countries out there do not want to see this vibrant democracy being swallowed up by a communist regime. So, in fact, China is the common threat for the entire Asia-Pacific area. If the United States couldn't stop China in Taiwan, then why would Korea, Japan, or Philippines think that the United States can uphold that mutual defense treaty that we have? Because China is also their enemy. So I think the United States definitely will be involved along with many of Taiwan's other friends, because the United States can suffer, cannot not defend, because if that happens, the United States prestige. So when you ask how would the United States help defend Taiwan, I think people ask me, will the United States deploy forces into Taiwan? I don't think coalition's forces will deploy into Taiwan to defend Taiwan. It's not necessary, because during war, there will be chaos. If coalition forces deploy to Taiwan, it will add to that chaos. So I believe to defend Taiwan, the coalition forces will protect Taiwan from Japan, from bases in the Philippines, and also from offshore locations like U.S. aircraft carriers. That's how we will defend Taiwan. About 15, 20 years ago, maybe even just a bit longer, basically, the United States and Taiwan have an understanding from the old thinking of, how to attack and all that to how to defend. And that strategy also changed into allow influence in the defense procurement. Taiwan bought more missiles, okay? Taiwan took a more asymmetric approach to the defense. You cannot only absorb the attack. So there is a counter-strike capability that's built into Taiwan. Okay, for example, Taiwan is building a lot of Xiongfeng 2 missiles with 1,000-kilometer range. United States is selling Taiwan ATACMS with 300-kilometer range. The Taiwan Strait is 180 kilometers. Okay, and United States selling Taiwan a lot of the anti-ship Harpoon missiles. Taiwan is buying the latest Patriot missile for anti-air, anti-missile. So this consolidated together, Taiwan can easily survive, because China have 375 warships. How many anti-ship missiles does Taiwan have? Thousands, okay? China has all these missiles and rockets, but how many launchers they have? Okay, so they might have 1,800 missiles they can use, the medium and short-range missile to hit Taiwan, but they only have 600 launchers so far. So as they line up to ready to launch, they already discovered their location. So I'm just guessing, most likely the strategy is once they launch that first shot, that flame was showing, you can't recall missiles. War has started, counter-strike's going, it's going to hit their base where they store the missile for second and third strike, and the launcher itself might be destroyed. Okay, so I'm guessing anything happened to be classified, I'm just guessing, okay? So I think if I was Taiwan's military and US military, those are the things that I focus on, okay? When I want to come help Taiwan, I'm going to use my intelligence and look for this stuff. And if you recall, right now, China is still trying to do joint warfare like we did at the Gulf War. United States have moved on to multi-domain warfare where we use space, cyber, and other capability, electronic frequency capability, so that if you look at the last year's Midnight Hammer, when we went to Iran war over Iranian airspace for 2 hours, not a single missile came up, all that high-tech stealth detecting radars didn't work, they didn't have command and control. Same thing with Venezuela. We went in and out, and the only thing that got us was somebody with their eyes saw the helicopter and shot the helicopter. None of the high-tech stuff worked, okay? So United States, the conduct of war have moved on to a different level. Right now in the world, only the United States can do multi-domain warfare. So in that sense, we are pulling Taiwan along. We are asking Taiwan to acquire those systems that can help link up with US multi-domain capabilities. So I think I can say that because I want to help deter China. Okay, they can't win. They really can't win. So it's important to understand that Taiwan can survive. Taiwan has been buying this stuff and storing in Taiwan. At the same time, you just look at what the United States is doing. We have beefed up all those bases around northern Luzon in the Philippines. We have built a new runway, built up more munition bunkers, and US Congress have allocated funding for defense of Taiwan by stocking up these bunkers. Taiwan need to buy their own weapons to put in their bunkers, but the United States are filling up those bunkers in Japan and the Philippines, all in preparation, once again, the common enemy at this point, only one. For everybody, it's the same one, okay? So I think I'm pretty confident that if China decides to use non-peaceful means against Taiwan or against Philippines or Japan, they're gonna lose. So they're gonna continue to use cognitive warfare and try to tear our country apart because their doctrine calls for weaken your enemy before you actually start fighting. And that, I believe, is still their objective.
There's a lot of U.S. skepticism, 以美论. Yeah, some critics claim that, United States is using Taiwan as a pawn. So how do you read this argument?
Yeah, I think this is absurd. Because in order for the people of Taiwan to continue to enjoy their current peaceful lifestyle, their democratic way of life, Taiwan must continue to deter China. And Taiwan must remain strong. And that strength is not just Taiwan's defense capability, but also the strength of Taiwan's friends. Okay, so United States under Taiwan Relations Act is required to help Taiwan maintain a self-defense capability. But you know what else is in Taiwan Relations Act? It says that United States ourselves must maintain a capability to resist any resort to force to coerce, to coercion or anything that might jeopardize Taiwan's security, social, or economic system. That's in US law. That's a requirement that the United States must maintain the capability to resist China if they resort to force. And so it's kind of strange when people say, oh, and I've seen this in the pro-China media in Taiwan, oh, don't fight China, don't die for America. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. If U.S. and other friends of Taiwan come help defend Taiwan against China, American soldiers, Japanese soldiers, and other coalition forces soldiers might die in the defense of Taiwan, might die for Taiwan. It's an exact reverse of what this Doubt America thing is trying to promote. Oh, don't die for United States. The fact is, other soldiers of other country might die for Taiwan in defense of Taiwan's freedom and democracy. So I think that's an important point to people to remember. If Taiwan stand up and protect yourself, other people will be here to help you protect yourself. And other people, when they are willing to sacrifice your freedom and democracy, it's even more important for you to be able to do that on your own.
And I also heard that some people in Taiwan say that if we buy more weapons from the United States, it will make CCP angry. What's your take on it?
Yeah, that is such a misperception because no matter what happens, whatever Taiwan do to strengthen its self-defense will make CCP unhappy, okay? CCP unhappiness should not be any concern to someone who wants to protect yourself, because if they don't have aggressive intent, then you protect yourself is of no consequences to them. So the fact that they're mad at you trying to protect yourself, that means they have aggressive intention. I use this example in one of the shows. I said, it's like you have a big bad guy next door to you. So you put a lock on your door. He's mad because you put a lock on your door, If you don't plan to come into my house to take my stuff, then it should be of no consequence to you that I put a bigger lock on my door, right? So it just demonstrates China's very, very aggressive intention. Therefore, Taiwan's movement and also the coalition's support for Taiwan, it's to address that aggressiveness. The problem is them. The problem is not Taiwan increasing your self-defense. The problem is the aggressive intention of China.
Yeah. But right now, United States government wants like burden sharing. Yeah, but like in Taiwan, we are facing the political gridlock somehow. So how we can prove our commitments or the strategic value to the Trump administration?
I think the policymakers in Trump administration sees it very clearly. They understand very clearly that President Lai, through his increased defense budget, is trying to demonstrate Taiwan is ready to share the burden. Taiwan is ready to carry its own weight for self-defense, and they know very well who is blocking it. And you can tell by the recent congressional response to the visit of the KMT chairwoman, and it's not very positive. And they know what's happening. And using U.S. FMS process as an excuse was not a good strategy. Okay, so I don't think that it's fooling anyone. And I think U.S. Congressman, White House sees clearly that who is blocking the defense budget. The only question that my friend have asked is why? Is it truly internal politics, or was there external influence from China that is causing this gridlock?
So look internally, what is the biggest Taiwan's vulnerability right now?
Internally, the biggest vulnerability obviously is the cognitive warfare that China is doing, that China is able to exert so much influence in Taiwan's legislature. China is able to use Taiwan's freedom of press, freedom of speech to express their point of view, where Taiwan couldn't do that the same thing in China. you know. Basically, they use our own freedom against us, and they use this freedom to provide more false information and try to basically tear Taiwan apart from the inside by feeding radical information on both sides. I think that's the biggest danger, because a united Taiwan is a strong Taiwan. They want to split Taiwan apart from the inside.
And you also mentioned like the fifth column. So how severe is the fifth column in Taiwan?
This is a big problem, okay? Taiwan has a very strong self-defense capability, and if you look at the natural environment around Taiwan, it is almost impossible for China to successfully invade Taiwan, except with the help of the fifth column, with them creating chaos in the back, which will weaken Taiwan forces' ability to defend against an external threat if they have to always look behind them, okay? It is a big problem, and I also understand that Taiwan's National Security Bureau is doing all that it can to address this problem, but the fact is it takes involvement of all of Taiwan's citizens to solve this problem, because everybody in Taiwan can be the eyes and ears of the national security system. The people of Taiwan have to get used to recognizing the unusual, knowing what to do when you see that, how to stop it, how to report it, because to prevent the fifth column, it takes all of us doing an active role to prevent them from damaging Taiwan's critical infrastructure, for example, and everybody's involvement will also help Taiwan's resiliency, because if we can stop them from damaging those critical infrastructure, Taiwan can survive longer. So it's very important that to recognize fifth column is a problem. It could be the guy next door, the beef noodle soup vendor on the street, okay? It could be anybody. Day to day, they do nothing, it's okay. But when they do something strange, you have to be aware, recognize that's not normal, report it, stop it, and help defend against it. And some people might not understand what fifth column is. The fifth column are those spies and sleeper agents that's already deployed inside Taiwan, that when called upon, they will do things in support of the communist activity. So it's important that to know it's so easy for them to come into Taiwan and establish themselves because they look alike, right? They speak the language. And so day to day, they're among us. There are many, many of them among us. But it's harmless day to day, right? However, they can do significant damage in times of contingency.
But how do we look out these like hidden threats? I think it's difficult to look out.
It's very, very difficult. National Security Bureau is doing their part, and it's, I better not talk too much about that. But we, like I said, just need to look out for anything strange. The people of Taiwan need to develop that kind of mentality like the Israelis. In Israel, if somebody take out a knife on a bus, there'll be people going up front immediately to grab that knife. In Taiwan, somebody take a knife in the train station, people take out the phone to record it, right? Different mentality, okay? This is what Taiwan really, really need to develop. When you see something strange, take action, stop it, versus, just filming it. In Israel, I can bet you, somebody do something strange, that person will be challenged, because that's the type of civil defense training they are getting, and this is what the people of Taiwan need to get, those type of civil defense training. See something unusual, do something about it, not see something unusual, you film it, and post it on your Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Is there any way we can just boost our overall resilience?
There are a lot of civilian-operated civil defense training schools, right? The Black Bear Academy, the National Defense Training Center, there's several. It makes me so happy to see that so many people sign up for those training. This is not free. They have to pay money. They have to sacrifice a weekend day to receive that training. And when I visit these schools, the schools are full. They're full for the next 4 or 5 months. Some of them have to wait for months to get a slot to attend, but they do. There are literally thousands of people signing up. 2 months ago, I just went to see how the class is going. A father took his 2 teenage kids, forced them to attend. That was interesting. And the kids initially didn't show any interest, but as the course go on, I watched them change. They start listening, start asking questions. I think this is all good thing. This all builds what we call will to fight. What needs to link up is the civil training and the military training. Probably should line up, because right now these courses can train the people to a level, and if they don't want to join the military, but there's a gap where the military can still provide certain training to the people who's willing to defend Taiwan to a certain level. I think that connection still needs to take place. But for now, I think this type of training helps Taiwan's resiliency.
Yeah, I've interviewed people who attend the Black Bear class, and they said, I said, why do you want to join this class? And he said, I want to protect the society.
Exactly.
Need. The society need.
Almost every one of them, like one of the school, the National Defense Training Center, when you sign up for the class online, there's an entry. Why do you want to take this class? And I look at that, and it's always, I want to do what I can to defend this country, you know? And I do take American delegation who visits Taiwan to those courses, and I want them to see, because the will to fight, Taiwan's will to fight has always been the number one question. When I go back to Washington or somewhere, my friends ask me, will Taiwan defend itself? And I say, well, you know, let me tell you about this. And when they come to Taiwan, I will take them to these schools and see, you know, there are a lot of people. And look, next 4 or 5 months, it's full. So I feel good that Taiwan does. The people of Taiwan do have the will to defend themselves.
Yeah. And I also noticed that the CC frequently weaponize shared cultural rules like Mazu worship and also like historical dramas to manufacture a political identity. So how do you read this strategy of putting fake nationalism in the cultural clothing? And how dangerous is this boiling frog effect on everyday people?
Yeah, you know, this is part of their cognitive warfare, okay? So China wants the people of Taiwan to maintain an emotional tie to the mainland, because more and more people now were born in Taiwan. So they identify themselves as Taiwanese versus Chinese, and that is very worrisome to China. So what can they do? Okay, they try to say, oh, you know, we're really one family, right? They try to get that emotional stuff going. But the people of Taiwan should understand, there's nothing wrong with identifying yourself as Taiwanese, because we can separate the heritage and the political system, okay? It's perfectly normal. For example, 75% of the Singaporean citizens are Chinese, of Chinese descent, but they identify themselves as Singaporean. They live under the free democratic system, and they have no desire to be under communist control. So I think it's perfectly okay for the people of Taiwan to identify themselves as Taiwanese, and it's perfectly okay to still have some Chinese heritage, but be politically separate.
A lot of overseas Taiwanese want to help, but they feel they're helpless. So what is the most impactful action do you think they can take?
Everybody can help, okay? I think it's important for us to also do a self-identification of what skill set we have, what resources we have that can help Taiwan in times of emergency, whether it's natural disaster or war. And day to day, I think most of us, the best thing we can do is help your friends and family members understand the importance of Taiwan to the world, economically, technologically, and even in human value. You know, Taiwan people are so kind, friendly. Taiwan's contribution to the IT industry, for example, and how Taiwan always say Taiwan can help whenever something happens. For us, of course, monetary assistance is the easiest thing, right? Most of us have the resources to help Taiwan. We might not have the required skill sets to launch missiles and stuff. Some young kids with cyber capability can certainly help. But if something happened in Taiwan, whether it's natural disaster or war, Taiwan will need certain supplies, medical, food, humanitarian, tents, cots, clothing. Okay, so all of us can contribute in that manner, provide monetary assistance to purchase this stuff. And Taiwan's 12 diplomatic posts in the United States certainly can help collect the money, buy the stuff, and ship back to Taiwan. So I think it's something that we should think about it already. Now, what should I do based on my skill set, based on my resources? Because by the time something happens, you start thinking, okay, it delays the response. So it's better all of us think about, what can I do if something happened to Taiwan? What should I do? Who should I contact? Where should I send my money?
Yeah.
Okay, think about that now, so when it happens, you already know what to do.
So what about the second generation Taiwanese American? They might not speak the language or not familiar with Taiwan society or politics. So how do they can support?
Yes, actually, I'm here. As you know, I will be participating in the Taiwanese American Association summer camp. I meet with groups that belongs to Taiwanese American next generation, the younger people. I think to support Taiwan, to be able to effectively show support for Taiwan, first thing they need to have is knowledge. Okay, I think they need to learn more about Taiwan, the importance of Taiwan to the world, and how Taiwan contributes to the world. Okay, after you have those knowledge, then you can be proud. Okay, proud of who you are, and proud to be a Taiwanese American. When you're proud, then it's easier to have the motivation to help promote Taiwan. I think that's something that you can do day to day. And so in their younger stage in life, okay, I think it's important for them just know Taiwan, share the knowledge of Taiwan, and promote Taiwan. And for now, study hard so you can contribute more in the future.
Okay, so as we wrap up the show, Tony 大哥，你有什么心里话想要跟台湾人还有海外的华侨说的话？
好，我用中文好了。OK， 70年前我在台湾出生，我的父母亲是从大陆逃出来到台湾的。为什么要逃？因为他们不想在共产党控制的世界里面生存。OK， 70年以后，我还是跟他们一样。反共产党 ，OK， 要保持台湾的自由民主 ，All right， 我觉得，对美国来讲 ，OK， 台湾一定要有能力，自己决定自己的未来，不是一个由共产党 impose 的未来，是台湾自己决定 ，OK，and 要保持这样子的话，就一定要强壮啊。这样子才能防止中共也来逼台湾要听他的话。那我想，美国也是同样的要帮助台湾有这个阻挡中共的能力。我觉得这是非常重要。我们继续保护这个宝岛，台湾真的是一个宝岛。我世界在那么多国家住过到台湾以后，真的觉得这还是我的家。那我希望大家跟我一起保护这个宝岛。
所以我真的觉得，就是台湾防卫的关键时刻，真的需要大家一起团结努力。对，就是需要一些理解跟支持。对，
谢谢。
谢谢 Tony 大哥，就是在这么紧凑的行程，还拨空来上我们的节目。对，相信。不只是我，还有观众朋友，他们一定都上了非常精彩的一课。对，那也希望下一次如果Tony大哥 在美国，我们可以有机会再邀请你。
好，当然我会很开心加入你的节目。
对，谢谢，谢谢，
谢谢，拜拜。
谢谢 Tony 大哥。
Answer your questions.
Okay.
So the first question I have: How long would Taiwan be able to resist an attack of China without the help of the United States?
Well, first of all, the likelihood of China able to attack Taiwan without warning is zero. Because if China wants to win, that means the first fight is the last fight, okay? It will take massive amount of forces. When they try to mobilize that massive amount of forces, it will be discovered through technical means, satellite and everything, and through human intelligence that Taiwan has. The combination of this type of indication and warning from the US and Taiwan, we would know probably a month in advance of their actual action. And during that month, US forces and coalition forces will be forward deployed. The forces from Guam and Hawaii will be going to Philippines and Japan. Forces in Alaska will be deployed to Japan. And so all the coalition forces will be organized. At that time, right now we have the RIMPAC exercise, 31 countries in Hawaii, okay? What is RIMPAC exercise and who is the imaginary enemy? There's only one. So that's going on. So it's very difficult for China to initiate a no-notice attack expecting to take over Taiwan before coalition help. Second thing that was mentioned is the blockade, okay? Same thing. When they blockade, everybody think of when China blockade, how much Taiwan's gonna suffer. People don't think, what happens to China during that period of 3 weeks, a month, they try to choke Taiwan. When Russia attacked Ukraine, what happens to Russia? First of all, international economic system decided to remove Russia's SWIFT code. They cannot do international trade. China is an export country. They need to have international trade. Second, ports stop processing Russian ships. Same thing will happen. China is exporting all those millions of containers every day. What if they get to Seattle, San Diego, Rotterdam, Singapore? It's, oh, you're from China? Wait, we won't process you. Okay? What if you coalition forces stop in Malacca Strait and say, you're going to China, you wait. Okay? There's so many ways the international community can stop China from choking Taiwan because they're going to die first. And also, same thing, when they choke Taiwan, forces will be forward deploying, so they take that military option away from China. Those were good questions.
Yeah. 他刚才在看我的问题，他就这样看，他说：“哦，我想要听那个 Tony 讲这一题。”
Wonderful.